G'day ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this, my journey into the constraints-led approach for BJJ. I am your host, Sam Battlefields, and today we are doing a little bit of clickbait. I'm showing the Ecological Dynamics for Submission Grappling channel. I would highly recommend getting on this. The first comment, the fact that this is free is insane, pure gold. This is very true. So I'm going to put this in the description. If you haven't seen it, strongly suggest. Actually, if it's linked above, if I can link it above, I'll link it above for you. Strongly recommend checking it out. There is a reason I'm not going to be playing all of it. That's for that channel. I've got a little snippet that I'll be using later on. But I've decided to do a little bit of clickbait and have Mr. Greg Souders of Ecological Dynamics. Anyway, so let's get into it. So first off, we did stand-up boxing as per normal. We are going to be implementing boxing gloves moving forward. I think we need a little bit more reality with this, but I'm very happy with how it's going. But yeah, as I said, a little bit more reality with the gloves. And then secondary, I saw a Tai Chi push hands demonstration. I was interested to try it, so I put that involved as well. And yeah, definitely. So basically, the Tai Chi push hands. If you step, so you can stand on one leg, but if you step, so put your foot down, then you lose the game. And Aaron was really good at this, and I wasn't. So, but it was something interesting to try. Probably won't try it again. I was hoping that there would be some sort of an applicability. You know, it's very constrained in that you can only really use your connections in the arms to pull them off balance, but I think it's a bit too constrained in order to have like a properly representative learning design. So I'm not sure if I'll use that again. Not having to go at it, just just didn't really work for this particular thing. We then went into a control game, which was essentially starting in side control, whichever configuration you wanted. My intention for this game was not what resulted. So the person on the bottom had to maintain prayer hands in some way, shape or form, and the person on top just had to keep them flat, so keep their back as flat on the mat as possible. What I was looking to get out of this was more mobility, in that I wanted to see, because you weren't able to push away and all that kind of thing, you had to maintain some, like you were still pushing a little bit, but for the most part it was you kept these here. You weren't getting your arms attacked, but the goal was to create destabilization with the legs. Unfortunately, the destabilization with the legs, you couldn't really do much with it because you couldn't get frames off the hips in order to maximize the benefit of that. So what ended up happening, what I found ended up happening with Aaron and Ridwan, is that they just found really strong side control positional sort of things, and then just use pressure to keep me down. I did attempt to do a bit more like knee ride and move to mount and that sort of thing, but it didn't have the outcome I was looking for, but it had a better outcome than I could have hoped, if that makes sense. So with the two guys doing like a real pressure style thing, what it showed was capturing certain connections made it much easier. They were longer rounds, so getting stuck under side control and with the pressure on the diaphragm, that was a lot of fun. And the guys joked, me being a little bit bigger slightly than they are, that it was kind of a thing in my favour. But I really did try to be a bit more mobile. And what it showed me is the amount of space that I've been giving up, or that I would give up, that I probably need to work on, and that I did end up working on. And it's got the same principles as, you've got to be showing one thing in order to execute another thing. Otherwise, the people are going to see the one thing that you're trying, and they're just going to block it. So if you are able to, bounce off different things in order to execute keeping them flat. I really like this game. And then it's half guard week. It's half guard fortnight / depends on if we redevelop the curriculum in time. But over the next couple of weeks, I'm putting together a change to the curriculum, and Alex will be reviewing it with me. But half guard. The person on the bottom was trying to regain full guard, and the reason there's a flip side to this. So the reason why I was looking to do that was because of the amount of times that people try and shut down my full guard, and I'm able to get something along the lines of, they're able to shut down my half guard, and I'm able to capture, say, a figure 4 over the top, and by that, using that, I wanted to get full guard. And so the other side of it is I didn't want people going out the back, because the person on top, their whole their game was to get the knee that is trapped, so the knee that was in double enclosure, so double enclosure around the thigh, that knee had to be on the front of the hip. Now it doesn't matter if that resulted in a foot being clasped, as long as that knee was in the front. It didn't result in anyone's foot being clasped, because there was some really good, again, doing one thing and then moving to another as the door closed, they moved to another, which was really cool to see. It was this on task rather than trying back-to-back techniques. So what's the task? What am I looking to achieve? I'm looking to achieve getting my knee in front of their hip line, or above their hip line, unencumbered, obviously, but it's kind of redundant at that stage, because your knee will be in front. So what tended to happen is both Ridwan and Aaron, they would flatten the hips out, they would start driving their knee over, and as that was kind of defended against, they would then end up in sort of a knee slice situation and gather that back. And that was cool. I really, really enjoyed seeing that. I think that, that's something we're going to build on, and build on for the rest of the week, and hopefully by the end of the week have more of a kind of situational sparring around that. All of this is kind of bringing me to one of the reasons why I've got Greg on here. This one's going to be a little bit longer, guys, just to settle you in. The reason why is because when Aaron was speaking about the game and half guard game, sort of having the person on the bottom have that full guard, and I didn't kind of see it, because my thought was, well, I want to be able to get to a full guard from half guard, but only because I wanted to go up and down and we'll get to this, the positional hierarchy, all right? And I'll pull that up in a second, but the positional hierarchy is something that, and I'll pull it up here, this is a axis of likelihood you're going to kick ass, all right? So 0.1%, you face down, they're on your back, they've got their hooks in. 99.9% you're going to kick ass, you're on their back, hooks in, face down, all right? And then full guards in the middle, 75% you're in mount, 25% they're in mount. But let's just have a listen to this.
So you asked defensive position. So when we take a snapshot, let's say we take the mount, we could analyze this as offensive player, defensive player, but again, we have to have criteria for that. So the central idea in this theory of jiu-jitsu is unevenness, all right? More of myself versus less of my opponent. That's what jiu-jitsu is, okay? I put more of myself at a relative degree to you, where I can do things to you that you can't do to me, okay? But it's only a snapshot. But look at these two different, so we take them out. I want you to tell me, by just looking, who is in the offensive or defensive position. So let's just use those two criteria. Double underhook for top player. Who's in the offensive or defensive position? Come on, just try, go. Yeah, I'm offensive one, he's defensive one. Why would you say just looking at it?
With isolation, controlling the hips, controlling shoulders.
Yeah, got a lot of shit going on, right? A lot of unevenness in the system. Now, frame inside. Who's in the defensive position here? Why? 50-50.
All right, I won't show anymore. That was for a purpose. But essentially, and I'll throw this into the mix. So, back in, when was this published? Anyway, months ago. When was it published? Anyway, I wrote this blog post. This is a long while ago, probably 2 years ago now, when I was very, very new, 2.5 years, very, very new to teaching IP. All right, as by myself, so just by myself, and it was quite interesting. I'm reading this shit, and A, I'm a funny bastard, but B, I just wanted to go through a couple of things here. So, one, I describe, over the years, I've seen different takes on how to teach beginners. Some have a fundamentals program that you need to attend for a couple of months before you jump in. Some throwing you in the deep end with the sharks, sink or swim. Some have an approach somewhere in between with the class shown a technique that's advanced, while the higher belts get to go fuck with it. The white belts are shifted away to do something a little bit more basic. The fundamentals first approach has its benefits. This is what I wrote about. Hang on, I'll put this across. That's probably it. The fundamentals, real fundamentals get boring fast. Oof. I don't like me at the moment. Bridging, hip escaping, securing dominant positions. So you have to add in what the crowd wants. Submissions. That's the cool stuff. And other martial arts teach the cool stuff straight away. Why not BJJ? Regain guard. Boring. Show me a heel hook. Perfect. This is funny. Body positioning. However, to isolate a limb and control the rest of the body. Fuck. If it wasn't for the word perfect, I might have been, ahead of the game on this. And it's like, the cool stuff is actually the boring stuff. I'd love to be able to regain guard or retain guard. So the thing about this is, we were talking about half guard in relation to this today, and the positional hierarchy was like, half guard for the person on bottom. I've always looked at it from an offensive point of view because of my let's say ample girth in many ways, but in particular my midsection. I tend to be able to use half guard really effectively because I'm able to attach people to me and then become their center of gravity. And so therefore I have been able to use half guard very offensively, whereas a lot of people, and Aaron pointed out that he has viewed half guard in a defensive way. So he was saying that looking at the bottom and only having the affordance, having the constraint that only allowed the affordance to find full guard as such, showed him that there were a lot of opportunities for attack that he could have gone for, which was really cool. Now, I just wanted, so I pulled all that. It's a fairly long video already, but I just wanted to do 3 positive things that happened today. I tried something different with the Tai Chi push hands. Application was minimal. Probably won't do that again. Aaron said that the half guard game was actually opening his mind by being so closed constrained, which is actually pretty cool because I was looking at it from a different perspective, and I was able to really see even more that the concept that Greg was talking about in that video. 2 things I want to improve. One is my fitness. Without a doubt, I had a really tough roll with Aaron today, and by about midway through, I do have a cough at the moment. Bit of a throat thing. It's just change of season, and I have asthma. It's all sort of excuses though. It all came about from smoking a bit too much cannabis a couple of weeks back. I am a medical patient of cannabis, so but since then I have actually started vaping. But I haven't vaped all week, so I really want to get rid of this because it is affecting my ability to breathe, but it's also that I'm a fat bastard and I want to lose that weight as well. So I'm putting that out there for this fitness. And the second thing I want to improve is the Aaron puzzle. He has become so good on top that I'm struggling to, when he does reverse me, or when he does get on top, he is just I cannot move him off me. So I really have to up my down game. And the next thing I'm going to do the last thing I'm doing is in the next 24 hours I will be doing some fitness work, so kettlebells and just a little bit of fitness work to improve my fitness. This is Sam Battlefields. Like, comment and subscribe. I'll put those links in the description if not before, and if you have any questions please let me know in the comments. I shall speak with you soon.